Hello, everybody, and welcome to this HCTalk podcast. As always, I'm your host, Lance Gormley, and our guest that's back on the program. And I don't even know if I want to call you guys guests anymore. You're kind of staples of the program are Andy Ortiz, local businessman and entrepreneur, and Chad Fries, we affectionately know as the Kansan Guy, editor of the Kansan Paper. How was your gentleman's week? And Andy, the last couple weeks, since you've been a busy body in a good way.
Andy, you go first.
Awesome. I've had a lot, learned a lot, was in workshops, classes, conferences. Nashville is a pretty cool place. I've been there a few times before, but never like this time. I got it peeled back in a different way, which was really cool. And then I got to go to San Antonio and see my family and do some work there while I was there as well. And so everything was good. I missed home, but I did think I'd give you guys a little gift.
Huh.
So, Chad.
I was going to say something about you sporting
and,
that
Shamrock.
Lance.
This is the one up by my house.
I'll take it.
The one
I'll
up by
take
my
it.
house.
There you
I
go.
think I might even wear it right now today.
So,
And if you guys want white, we could exchange it. But those got a little jacked up in shipping, so I'm not being nice. I'm just giving you guys the ones I won't give somebody
You're
else.
giving me a deformed
Because I like you guys and I feel more comfortable.
Damn. Well, instead of wearing it, I'm just going to put it right here today.
We're good.
I
No,
think, well,
we're
you can't
good.
even see it on the
Anyways,
camera.
I
there,
prefer
but-
black anyway.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, car wash convention.
Obviously, I'm always. It feels like I always am wearing black.
Yeah.
Oh, me too, a lot. Well,
Yeah,
I was at a
same.
car wash convention. That's why I was in Nashville, and I learned a ton. And you know what's really exciting is I've been through some different industry and done some different things, but I've never been more excited than what I am now with the team that we're building and the opportunities that we have, and to realize that there's a team of people here in the Midwest United States in Little Newton, Kansas, that are operating a car wash that's going to be one of the fastest growing here in the near future in the country. How cool is that?
That's cool.
You know, so I'm just blessed to be here, man.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yep.
Chad?
I ain't gonna lie, it was a rough week.
Yeah.
The kind of week where you get punched in the gut and then you start trying to figure out what your blessings are, and you start looking at the future and wondering how in the world you're gonna make everything work. So that was the week I had.
Yeah. Well, and I will say that it's all about an attitude of gratitude. You talk about selective perspective, right? I mean, these are some things that I constantly try to think about in my mind is oftentimes when we think something is a curse, it turns into a blessing. And I'm not sure if that has to do with perspective in as much as just trusting the direction that you're going and realizing that, you know, there's always opportunity for growth. There's always opportunity for things to get turned around. And sometimes I hate to use this word because this word just, it's so loaded, but patience. Patience, folks, patience. I think that's the key. And even we'll factor into some of the things we're going to talk about today as well. So just jumping right into it, gentlemen, because I would say that I'm a little bit irritated. I feel like I got punched in the gut, and I'm not a Kentuckian, okay? And I don't necessarily know how much I can weigh in on the perspective of an individual that's voting a certain way or the other based upon the community that they're in, but I've been trying to keep a watch on that, right? We've talked a lot on the program about, you know, I got to admit it. I've been awful critical of, I'm just going to start calling him President Chump, okay? And I've been awful critical of President Chump. And the reason why I've been this way is, once again, I'll reiterate it for those that listen to the program that wonder if all I do is go after Trump, and on and on and on and so on and so forth. It really, what it comes down to is I have buyer's remorse. And I've said this before, you know, of all the things that were campaigned on during Trump's run for second well, basically he ran 3 times. We all know this, but you know, I voted for the person based upon campaign promises: no new wars, decrease inflation, stop inflation, lower gas prices, lower grocery prices. We'll just call them all in all America First policies. And when I realized that we're not going in that direction at all, in fact, it's probably exactly the opposite, similar to release the Epstein files, release those Epstein files, to no, we're not going to release the Epstein files. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to go against and campaign against people who were on board with us to release the Epstein files. And then I go back to this whole thing where I got to say, I didn't move away from Trump. Trump moved away from me. But guys, What it was a pretty tight race. I'll say that when you're looking at statistics. No, it wasn't a 1% race. It wasn't a 51-49 by any means. It was more of a 55-45. But Massie was defeated last night or yesterday in the primary. And what do you all think about that, first and foremost? And then did you get a catch on knowing, and it's been said a lot, that this was there was more spending in this primary than any other primary in history?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on that one. It's not shocking anymore to me. I mean, my first instinct is to say that's shocking, but it's not. It's disappointing, I guess is my better word for that. And it's just because people are so fickle, right? And how you could be swayed by marketing dollars and messaging compared to if you just look at what he was trying to represent, which I feel like people like myself wanted that voted for Trump. And what's really happening, it's like, tell me you're sorry, but then you slap me again.
Right.
Tell me you're sorry, but then you slap me again. And then you apologize and you give me all the reasons why you're sorry, but then you slap me again. And I just see our whole government, Democrats and Republicans,
both, yeah,
partaking in this attitude of what are you going to do about it? So it's so blatant, right, at this point on all sides that you can only gerrymander when it makes sense for my side. You can only change these rules when it's my side that needs to win, and then you justify why the other side's bad. And it's both sides that are doing these things over and over again, and nobody in my circle of influence is calling that out as much as I think we all should be.
Right.
And I am starting to hear it recently, more inklings of people are sick and tired of it, and we feel like we are not in control, and our votes don't matter as much as we think they should.
Right.
And Biden was not running the country, and Trump at this point seems like he's not in full control with the levers that are being pulled, because a lot of what is happening, and I know you have to react, and I understand these things, and you're going to have these extreme people that buy into the algorithms on both sides digging me up right now, and that's okay. I can deal with it, right? This is not my first rodeo. But it is saddening that so much money is allowed to come into a state for an election, to manipulate an election with marketing, and some of these people have nothing to do with it.
Right.
Especially when, what are the rules of that money coming from other countries into certain groups and then funneling back into the state,
right,
to make change happen? How is that best for America? And what rules and laws do we have to put in place for that? Oh, wait, don't say that, because now you're messing with funding mechanisms of powerful people that are going to come after you.
Right. Well, and here's this. Pro-Israel groups successfully unseat Thomas Massie in Kentucky after record $15.8 million spending. Now, you kind of try to fact check that. I'm not 100% sure that's a totally accurate statement, because as I was reading, there's multiple pro-Trump political action committees that were involved in this and everything else. But yeah, like you said, Andy, it makes me wonder how many people really understand. Okay, if I set up a PAC and I can give limitlessly to Andy's campaign or Chad's campaign, whatever the case
And frankly,
may be.
Lance, we've looked into this.
Yeah.
This is something that we've looked into in the past, so we understand the X's and O's.
Yes. Well, and then if we all of a sudden get a major donation from my cousin that lives in Europe, that has a business in Europe, right, and it can be a limitless amount of money, then how does that not equate to a foreign entity or even country being involved in swaying an election here in our country? Chad, what do you got? I know you were a huge Thomas Massie fan. Because Chad is a Republican.
I know
MAGA
absolutely
through and
nothing
through.
about Thomas Massie, to be honest.
Hey, Chad
I have
is
not
so
paid
MAGA.
attention to him.
Yes.
I've never cared about him.
It's Kentucky.
He's freaking
right?
Kentucky, man.
Right.
I'm worried about Kansas.
Right. But I will say,
I mean, that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about Kansas. I'm worried about Harvey County. I'm worried about Newton, Kansas. That's what I'm worried about.
It's fair.
But do you feel like that doesn't spill over? I mean, because I do believe I find myself borderline. I'm bipolar when it comes to this, right? Okay, and it's what it is. Because in 1 minute I'm sitting there going, you know what? The only change I can affect is my local change. I want to say and have the perspective that Chad has, which is Newton first, Harvey County second, state of Kansas third, and after that I don't really have much time or impact on anything else that takes place.
Well,
but those things
up,
have so much impact on us. The fact that what happened in Kentucky does in fact affect Kansans. It affects people in Harvey County, affects Newton. So it's this cyclical thing. So then I got to go, okay, well, what can I do about it? What can I do about what's going on in Kentucky? I can't. What can I do about what's going on at the national level? I can't, right? I really can't. I mean, we can sit here and have conversations about it, but Chad,
you can, okay, if you want to be worried about the national level, pick and choose what you're going to be worried about, right? Because what you can worry about, for example, Ron Estes is going to be speaking at Memorial Day in Newton, Kansas. Maybe you should go listen to him. Thomas Massie ain't going to be anywhere near Newton, Kansas. The guy who beat him probably can't even find us on a map. All right? But Ron Estes is going to be around. A week ago, Roger Marshall was around. Those are the guys you need to be worried about. And if Trump's going to be your litmus test, number one, I feel horribly bad for you because what a horrible, horrible decision-making process you've set up for yourself. But if that's going to be your litmus test, then start looking at our people.
Well, now I'm just going to push back a little bit here. I have gone and hate me if you want to hate me. I don't care at this point in time. No, I mean, I lose so much sleep over your hatred for me. Trust me, I do. I actually kind of get a kick out of it anymore. I just sit back and laugh about it. So if you really think that somehow or another, like
Strawberry 99, he's going to get mad at
you. Okay, so here's my thing.
Is that the name?
I don't know.
I don't pay attention
I can
anymore.
almost tell you what these speeches are going to roundabout into, okay? And if you get into the talking points, both of them are very good at it. I've seen both of them speak on countless occasions. I wouldn't say that they know me, but I would say that I know them. So where I'm going to go here with this is it's always the same with both of them. Trump, 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 Trump. Dirty, 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 dirty Democrats. Can't get my job done. Can't do this. Can't do that because of this opposition. Get mad at the opposition. Vote Republican. Oh, and be sure to vote me in. Even though, what have I done? Right? What have I done? So I'm getting it. I'll say this. It's getting to me, all right, and here, and I'll throw this one out here while we get into, I've been thinking selective perspective, right? This has been the thing that's been rolling around in my brain. Just because I'm not for that doesn't mean I'm for the opposite, right? Talking to some of the messaging that was going on. Just because I'm against the Iran war does not mean I'm a friend of the Ayatollah, okay?
But and they said you were.
But this is the messaging that we get. Right? It's the extreme on the other side. Okay, because I'm critical of what the Republican Party is doing and the kind of, I'm not going to, and some of the things that are taking place even with our own elected officials, right, to get excited about it, does not mean I'm for the opposite, right? Chad, you've been around long enough. You know, you could almost write the speech before they show up. Tell me you can't.
Come on, old yeller.
Well, I can.
But sure, you're not dead yet, you know.
But you out there probably can't.
Oh.
That's why I'm telling you, go. I mean, seriously. You can write it. I can write it. Andy can probably write it. You probably can't.
Why is this, Chad? You've been doing this a long time. You've been writing a long time. Okay, you've seen this. You mentioned on the program before that we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? Knowing what we're already, in for, but we just keep sending the same people to Congress and nothing changes because it's our guy, right? So what is it? I'm trying to get into the psychology behind why people are doing this, that they're not eyes wide open. I mean, last week on the program, I pretty much called people stupid. Is it comfortable?
Well, let's go to the Epstein thing, right?
Ugh.
Yeah,
that strikes a nerve with me.
Well, but look at everybody who's fighting it and what's happening on the backside. Massie was a pit bull, not letting it go.
Marjorie Taylor Greene was a pit bull, not letting it go. Candace Owens.
Where are they at now?
Yeah, Marjorie just retired.
Why? If this is a real serious thing and so many people are holier than thou, 7 months ago, 12 months ago, about all pedophiles need a day of reckoning. And the people that are fighting for that are gone.
Yeah.
Serendipity, right? Pixie dust.
Right.
And this is not a Democrat or Republican problem. This is a human being problem. But the people that are fighting for it, they're upholding progress. They need to know how to change their lenses when it's time to do that.
Right.
For progress purpose. And it's the same person that was saying, burn it all down if you don't put up that word, it's over. And I still believe that part to a certain extent, right? I do think there's a way you need to do it, because burn it all down when you see your children hungry, maybe something you would go back and say, never mind, right? I get that part. But when you have these people, and I don't think it's a coincidence, like Massie, because that's the headline right now, right?
Right.
Thomas Massie algorithms, it's a headline.
Right.
Epstein files, overspending in the government, trying to figure out how to get us out of wars. All the main talking points. He never changed that.
No.
The system around him all of a sudden changed because they said to shut up, and he kept talking.
Right.
That's the problem.
And then the same week, Andy, we come out and we have the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, saying, well, especially after all this insider trading started coming up, right? So then that's now
it's a whole nother rock. Where's that one at?
Hey, so, but you know what? Congress can't make it on $175,000 a year, guys.
Do they pay for their own flights?
No.
Oh,
and hey, we're not talking about just $175,000 a year.
Do they pay for their own apartments or suites or hotels?
No. And then think about this.
But then do they pay for their own food and dinners?
No.
Oh,
no.
Wait.
No. No, and not only that, but then the way that the campaign finance stuff.
Find a lobbyist.
Well, here's the campaign finance
They
situation.
have rooms where they take these guys and feed them.
And then they have $250 million in their campaign chest that can be used for about anything. It can be used for my housing. It can be used for my transportation.
Hey,
it can be used for my cell phone. It can be used for everything
I'm gonna make a
that
statement
we use. It's
right
ridiculous.
now. I'm going to make
real
a statement right
real
now.
quick before you make this statement. If I'm Nancy Pelosi, just say for pretend.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi. How you doing?
How's your husband, Nancy?
200. He's worth.
Not been chased down with an axe lately, I'm sure.
How's he doing?
He's worth $250 million, and I'm only worth $50 million.
Yeah.
So it's not me insider trading, because you know what? He's the one with the $250 million.
Right.
I only have $50 million, and I've only been making $175,000 for 20 years, but I'm worth $50 million, and my husband's worth it. He's the one, so it can't be insider trading.
I want to know how they did that, because I need to do it.
Hey,
because I'm only making a little over. I'm making under 50 grand a year right now.
This person
I need some help. I need to figure out how to get that net worth up to.
All you got to do,
just maybe 100,000,
2 million,
just a couple million.
Because in their world,
1 million, 1 million would work, because then I would reinvest that, and live off the interest every year of $100,000. I mean, what are you talking about? And then you're sitting there going $275,000, where $175,000. Well, we can't make it on that. Tell that to the people that are struggling to go fill up their freaking tanks.
Oh, but wait. Do they have to put their own gas in?
No, they don't have to do that.
Not even that.
I'm telling you guys, if people aren't getting pissed off about this,
spending that 175. Well, that's why they're so rich, because they could just invest the majority of it.
Yeah, I mean, of course,
our founding fathers.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm
telling you, it's unbelievable.
Our founding fathers were not professional politicians, nor did they ever intend for us to be ruled by them. Now we are.
Well, that train's left the station,
And this
Chad.
is what we. Sorry, I got to stop because I'm going to let. I'm
Don't
going to
say
let.
any
I'm going to
profanity.
let language fly.
Don't do it.
But we are here because this is what we have allowed.
Remember, our kids might watch this.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the result. I mean,
You said we've allowed it, but have we sitting at this table allowed it, or has the American people allowed it?
over time,
All of us.
we as the people have allowed.
We
for
are the
this.
people, man. You can't pick and choose. If there's a Republican president or a Democrat president, or if we're at war, it's on all of us. And that's tough. And that's why we need to frickin' rein this crap in.
And we are, and especially in the last 35 years or so, we have also turned ourselves into Dougs. And just so you know, Doug is a dog. Doug is a dog from the movie Up. Go watch it. He's hilarious. He'll be having an intelligent conversation. And then it's, squirrel! And we're off when we're running and we're distracted again. We have allowed ourselves to become Dougs. Folks, wake up. I don't drink coffee, but if you do, smell it.
It smells good. But
Some of us have not.
He's got coffee. That's why.
Some
on
of
my
us,
breath.
all the stuff that Andy laid out there, the Epstein files, the wars, the inflation, the price of gas, all of this stuff, that stuff some of us, me, have been watching and on for years.
it hurts.
And all the folks who allow, I'll just say it straight, all of you who are allowing the television entertainment news to absolutely distract you every single night, you're the problem. You are it.
But Chad, I go back between both channels.
You're still watching the entertainment news.
I'm more open-minded because I watch both channels and make my own decision.
Yeah.
And don't
That
you
makes
find
sense.
don't you find it hilarious or scary that on any given night they're actually just talking about the same frickin' thing
Over and over.
nonstop?
How many times do you have to say something?
3 times.
And imagine the repetition that the average person is getting that's watching. And the fact that we have to say both sides openly now, when it's supposed to be like, go back 40 years. You watched the news,
Ding.
but it was still happening.
Right.
Awareness, conscious awareness. They're just feeding us in a different way now.
A better way. You know, they've gotten. Okay, so
Awareness.
Going back to this, right? While we're sitting here, moving on from Thomas Massie, I still go back to the fact that I think Kentucky, there was maybe, and I haven't got full results here, so I'm don't hold me to an exact number, but there was about 20% of eligible registered voters that turned out to vote in the primary. So when you think about it, I mean, by anybody's definition, here I'm gonna throw this one out here. I actually think that it was campaign.
Primaries.
I think it was fraud. That's what I think it was. I think that Thomas Massie didn't get elected because my guy didn't get elected because of fraud. So we need to really go down and figure out what kind of fraud we're seeing because my guy didn't get elected. So it's got to be fraud in the election system, right? Or wait, what people don't understand about a lot of what I'm doing here, just to wake you up to it, most of what I spew that is anti-Trump is the same shit that Trump said himself. Wake up. Wake up. Okay, I want people to understand this because I'm sitting here getting people commenting and saying all kinds of stuff about me, about how I'm anti-Trump and I'm this and I'm that and I'm everything else under the sun. But the reality is because you have selective memory, you don't actually realize that I'm playing double, triple, 3D, 5D chess on you. Okay, and it's that all I'm doing is espousing the same crap that I heard when I had my
That Massie thing flipped him
I'm
out.
telling you. You know what it is? Okay, no, this flips me out. Here, you want to know what flips me out? I got another one.
I got a question. I got a question.
I'm pissed,
I got
okay?
a question.
He's breaking out the jackhammer.
I got a question. I got a technical question for you.
I'm a fan.
I got a technical question for you.
How about it, Chad?
When I look over at that monitor, which one of those cameras is the active? Which one of those video feeds is the active one?
The big one up top.
Left. The one with your finger pointing.
Yeah, the
Left.
big ones on top
Yeah.
is where the
my
camera's at.
left.
Yes.
My left. That one right there.
Yes.
Yes, top left. See?
Okay, I need to know that because I'm telling you what, my reactions.
If I get a good reaction, I flip over to you. Okay, but here's this. Okay. Remember that whole thing? Kansas legislature, we need to pass a law that says that China cannot own any land in our country, especially not next to anything that we don't want them to own anything next to. Makes total sense, right? Run on that campaign. Oh, Trump decided he wanted to change that now. After visiting the president of China, we are fully in favor of allowing China to own farmland.
Right next to military bases.
Hey, if that's what it takes, why not? Wherever they would like to buy it now. Well, wait
But there's a
a second.
reason.
So you're telling me
It's because of the 5D chess. Yeah.
you're telling me
I just don't
that
He's
Or
going to
get
dig
it.
down to the
Our
third
master-
level and then reverse left. And the
Yeah.
magic bullet is going to hit in the shoulder and it's going to go through the knee and then it's going to
Yes.
flip around and go through the throat.
I just
so
don't know it
you're
yet.
telling me that our master
Come on, open your
deal
brain.
I just
maker
didn't know it yet.
flew 14 hours one way on Air Force One and really didn't get much for us?
Well, we're
Is that
gonna
what you're
allow
telling me?
500,000 of Chinese students back into our universities on the back of taxpayers.
Are they going to pay their own tuition or are we paying for
No,
it?
I'm sure we're going to help pay for that, Chad. But your kid, and Andy's kid, and my kid.
Can just go fly a kite according to the
Yeah,
Kansas legislature.
of course.
You have no idea how much I just want to flip people off on that one.
Hey, if we can't laugh about it, if people wonder why, once again, it's not anger, it's truly passion. Okay, it's idiocracy, and it's to the point where like I have been frustrated lately, and down to the point. And I was talking with Andy before the program. It's like, what's the stupidity behind all this? I mean, this is just stupid. Like I'm losing faith in my fellow man here, okay? Like you're not seeing it, like you really did you just drink the Kool-Aid and then from there, of course, I've been rage baited because I'm sitting here watching countless people go ask people like Trump supporters and even Democrat supporters, and it's like they're just duh. You're in favor of the war in Iran. Yeah, okay, well then sign up to go fight. Pfft, I'm not a Democrat. What are you trying to do? Why are you trying to be anti-Trump?
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
It's
a tough place to be.
Being one thing does not automatically make you another.
Oh,
Well,
Being
not after
one
people
thing
see this one.
does
Yeah.
not automatically make you another. Being frustrated with your administration does not automatically expel you from one political party and
every
stick you in
time-
another.
well, but
It just doesn't.
you're not part of the cult.
That's a loaded word, friend.
Hey, you need to agree, okay? Hey, just like this. Okay, here's the funny thing. Do either of you believe in the concept that that your loyalty should lie to the incumbent?
My loyalty doesn't lie anywhere.
Yeah, Chad, but if Roger Marshall is our current elected official, how could you not support him? When it comes to
It
election
depends on what the choice is.
How can I not support him?
What about
Easy.
I mean,
I can stand there in the middle of Prairie View and listen to him tell them, the answers to your problems are these, and they're actually things that they can't legally do. This is a doctor telling them to hire this kind of nurse, which they can't do. He happens to be a U.S. Senator. Should I support that? No, I am not going to support that. I'm sorry.
I think there's a big picture for me, and I look at all those different pieces. That's one of them, right? But then there's other things that people do have skill sets in. So it just depends on who I believe has a better rounded set of skills for the bigger picture, and that can make certain decisions when they come through and weigh those decisions accordingly. Because a lot of the decisions that hit the table, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Once that hits you and you have that decision-making skill, you got to be able to dissect, ask the right questions to the best of your ability with what you have, and make the decisions that's the greater good for the whole, not with what you're pinning yourself into. Unless for me, it comes to like prayer, right? That kind of stuff I'm always going to vote for because I feel obligated to do that, but I'm open about that, right? Other than that, the rest of that stuff we can debate, tear into, flip upside down, shake it out, move the parts around. I mean, I'm good with that.
Speaking of prayer, and I may be wrong here, okay? Because hey, it is what it is. I'm a human being, a sinner saved by grace. So we'll just go with that. That's at the prelude of that. But I almost thought it was comical when Trump decided that we needed to have a national day of prayer.
I want to release the Epstein files.
I mean, come on. No.
Like the real ones that don't exist.
The real ones.
Whoa. Did he make that decision, or is he just deciding to, for once, honor a long-standing tradition?
I mean, that's a hard call.
I'm being ultra critical.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because
what is that answer?
Good question.
Because I thought we had
honestly,
that for the longest.
Right.
It may have been put to sleep for certain administrations, but if you wake it back up, it's not like he started it.
Right.
He just said, "Hey, let's go back to our roots a little bit here." Right. And timing.
Let me be blunt.
Is always important.
Either way, I'm thankful. I think it's great. But what I'm thankful for changes based on the answer to my question. And straight up, if he's encouraging us to get back to that tradition, and believe me, it is a tradition. This didn't start with Donald Trump. But thanks for bringing it back.
Well, and I'm not being critical of
He sounds like he might be a trope.
I was gonna say, Trumper,
make up your mind.
Chad likes President Chump. President Chump. Okay, so anyway, as we go along here, okay, because I'm just throwing things at you left and right today.
You are.
We're getting through the list.
For the first time, U.S. household debt, including mortgages, credit cards, auto loans, and student loans, reached an all-time high of $18.8 trillion in the first 3 months of this year.
People are hurting, dude.
People are hurting.
Swiping credit to get gas, for sure. A lot of people.
But don't worry about that, because we're on track to be $40 trillion in debt.
Well, remember the golden age, right? Remember hope. Remember gas prices will be at the lowest that we've seen since the 90s.
Yeah.
And all the stuff. And, is it possible for that swing to come? God, I hope so.
But it's not.
But, I just got the pleasure of going to visit my hometown. And I grew up in a pretty tough place. And I got to drive through my neighborhood. And, that's the place where it really hurts.
We need to collectively figure out how to get people out. And enough of this, just pull yourself up. Okay? Because at some point, and I'm going to make a very pointed statement. Dave Ramsey, at some point, it really is about how much is coming in. And it's, for some of us, there's just not enough. It's just not enough. And with the inflation that we have seen over the last now 7 years, it's just getting harder and harder and harder and harder. And when there's just not enough coming in, what decision do you expect people to make? Are they supposed to tell their kids they can't eat this month? Are they supposed to look at their wife and say, sorry, you can't go to the doctor for the next 6 months? Are they supposed to look at their significant other and say, we can't afford to put gas in your car. That means you're going to have to walk to work. And oh, by the way, it's 10 miles. Is that the decisions that those of us where is not enough coming in, is that what we're having to do? And if that's what we're having to do in the richest country in the world, every single one of us should be ashamed. The shame shouldn't be all on those of us struggling so hard to survive.
Well, all you have to
And
do
I'm not saying that the government
I know
is
what
the
Chad needs to
answer,
do. I know what Chad needs to do.
but there's got to be an answer.
You need to run for public office. You need to get elected as either a representative, a U.S. representative, or a U.S. senator.
And then I can inside trade.
You'll get $175,000 a year.
Be worth, $20 million in a year. Sure.
So, okay, let's go on a deeper level here. Okay,
But I can't get elected.
Why can't you?
Are you kidding?
Fry for Congress. I can see it now.
There's no way this kid can get elected.
Yeah, you don't have $17 million to spend on an election?
Well, there's that.
You've already been wasted. I mean, I know you've said things that are anti-APAC, so I don't think you're going to get that kind of money from
There ain't going to be any money coming to help me.
Yeah.
I've pissed them all off.
Okay, so
I'd donate $50.
Great, let's order a campaign sign.
a campaign sign.
Put one right in front of my house. That ought to do
That
the
might
trick.
get you 4 because I got wholesale.
So then I got a question, okay? And this is kind of interesting. I mean, so Chad, you're starting to sound like a Democrat, okay? Because ultimately the reason why, and if you're a Democrat, we need to just turn your mic off and not let you talk. Some of the people seem to think needs to happen with this podcast is that if I have a Democrat on the podcast, or I have anybody that doesn't think like them or possibly like
You're platforming them,
and I'm giving them the space, then it's and I don't attack them as though they're the demons. Then somehow or another I'm for them. So let's say this, okay?
Well, Lance, you're platforming.
I'm giving them a platform.
In a free country, you should tell people not to talk.
Yes, or go after them. I got you.
Unless
I'm gonna get you.
Unless
Unless it's their guy, their gal, then
their ideology.
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
they want to hear.
Absolutely.
How dare us explore?
How dare you think outside the box, or how dare you think
out of the 4D
different
chess
than I think
box.
The 4D chess. Okay, but going back to what Chad was saying, how many of you in the audience, because some would say it's the socialist concept, right, to believe that somehow or another Chad's problems are my problems, right? If Chad's in that situation, right, or somebody else happens to be in that situation where they're struggling to put fuel in their car, or they're struggling to pay their bills, or they're racking up credit card debt because, however, they've overextended themselves. Let's say, it's not just, we can't be wholesome talking about groceries and everything. What do we do with that? If being for that, right, and saying, hey, I don't think that people in this country should be struggling the way that they're struggling. We just threw something out there as far as like the amount of debt that people are going into. And then you see other statistics that show how impossible it is just to sell a car, and then the price of the cars, and then the money that we're sending overseas, and all of this. It seems like it's very easy to just say, oh, well, you're that. Everything you just said, Chad, I can chalk up to saying, you sound like a socialist to me. You sound like a Democrat to me, right? Or, once again, going back to the fact that I'm not for the Iran war. I don't want to spend billions of dollars over here
that we don't have.
That we don't have.
Trillions in debt.
I want for those billions of dollars to be spent helping the American people through, I don't know.
How about mental health institutions open back up?
How about we actually get something that we can use for juveniles?
Find our veterans that are on the
seriously.
streets and put them in a mental health institution where some of them belong because they went to fight for us and now they're whacked out because of what they had to see and the emotional instability, and we're throwing them out on the streets and acting like we don't owe them a damn thing when we're the ones calling for war.
Yeah.
Our leaders are calling for war.
Yes.
And then what, we don't have $500 billion that we give somebody else for a war that we are screwing up the same people and throwing them on our streets, and then seeing them panhandle in New York when I was out there looking at those guys, knowing some of them were veterans that are just not okay, and we don't have a bed and food and a mental health place where they can feel at least cared for, and they're out in the streets in the winter. And that's horrible to see that stuff, dude. And in Newton, we don't see it at that up close and personal because the volume.
Well, and we are starting to see it. See, and even this is something, even in our small community, and there are a lot of resources that our community, a very small populated community, reaches out to in order to help people. Okay, probably, in our state alone, we are definitely on the, I'm going to call it the losing end of that. as far as when you talk about what percentage of property tax evaluations are exempt because they're nonprofits and they're trying to go and help the poor, the needy, the people that are needing help, to the point where it creates a problem because we are overextending ourselves, in my opinion, when it comes to this, right?
Yep.
So then you have people that come here that need help, and all the resources are here, which is a wonderful thing, except for that we've got no way for them to be able to platform out of those resources into anything else. Because, so just asking this question, I want to throw another big topic in here, right? When was the last time America won a war? Of all the money that we spent, I'm sorry, but my generation is the one that went to Afghanistan and Iraq because of what happened in 9/11. Primarily, a lot of people signed up and said, you know what? Forget this. We're going to do our patriotic duty. We're going to sign up. We're going to go. We're going to fight for our country. 20 years later, of all the people that Andy was talking about, of all the people that lost their lives, of everything that we've done, right? Everybody that sacrificed so much, including ourselves in this country, through taxpayer dollars to fund it, it went right back to the way it was. 20-year war. Right back to the way it was. I mean, can anybody say...
When you're talking Iraq, it goes back further than that, but that's...
I agree. I agree. And then we ask ourselves, and I'm not 100% sure I buy the line that some of these...
Why don't we just figure out a way to combine Iraq and Iran, call it Iraq, and be done with it?
Because they hate each other, buddy.
Seriously.
Because Iraq was a country that we were allies with against Iran, and were there while we were funding Iraq to exponential dollars in order to create problems for Iran.
World War II, 1945, is the last time we can high five and say we actually participated in helping win a war.
Yes, and your phraseology is exactly correct, and I hope not lost on people.
So you mean Vietnam, Korean, right? So the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and all these military actions since
the Persian Gulf War, 1991, the Korean War, 1950 to 53, the Vietnam War, 55 to 75. Smaller scale operations, invasion of Grenada, 1983, invasion of Panama, 1989, post 9/11, 2001 to 2021, which is what you're talking about, and is that really over? And the answer, we all know that. I mean, this is just kind of silly at this point, right?
But we send billions of dollars over there to rebuild them. Right now, we give billions of dollars to the same regime that we were fighting for.
Say it's trillions.
And I got to say this:
we're giving $40 million a week or $60 million a week to the Taliban, who are guys that are not well. We're fighting just not so long ago, and we pulled out of a country where some people that I have friends that were there that love those people and became like family. And they have friends over there that helped us who've been slaughtered. Mm-hmm. So if you can imagine living with that kind of stuff, where we go to another country and the whole family, and they were taking care of you and they were supporting you and they were wanting their country to be different, and then you leave them and you find out they're dead. This is what our guys have to deal with.
Yeah. But you didn't scroll down far enough, Andy, because we won the war in Iran. I mean, if we've won the war in Iran like 3 or 4 times already. What are you talking about? We obliterated this and obliterated that and all this, but yet we still continue to do exactly what we're doing. I mean, it was insane. It was the biggest, the beautifulest, the most magnificent.
Most perfect.
Just perfect in every way. It's ultra perfect. I don't even know if I have words to express how beautiful and perfect and awesome it really is. And we've won it like 3 or 4 times already. Have we not? Do people really believe this?
Yes, they do. A lot of people do.
And even when you tell them, hey, look, I thought that we went in and we obliterated their nuclear capability. Well, then why are we there right now? Because we got to make sure that they can't get nukes. It's like, wait a second. Wait, huh? Wait, what?
Just remember, Lance, 1 + 1 is 3.
Okay.
Only if it's 3D chess.
So let's get into this. Now, this is the whole premise of this conversation here today, okay? Is just throw... I just threw...
I've been waiting to get to this
all
part,
this stuff,
right?
okay? All this stuff. But I honestly
I light it
question
now?
the psychology behind this, okay? I want to get to the bottom of this, right? As frustrated as I am, I talk about critical thinking skills. I talk oftentimes about just, we push it off, say, oh, they drank the Kool-Aid or whatever the case may be. We see this happening over and over and over again. It's this cycle, and it's just unbelievable. And it's frustrating to me because, once again, I want to go negative and say that people are just stupid. But that doesn't explain it. And going even farther, my question to you guys is, if we see this all day long and happening, and we'll even have people watching this program that are going to, do their, what they think, helps, and get on there and say a one-sentence, one-liner for one of the clips that they've watched that they don't even know because it's not in context or whatever the case may be. And just ask, is it... The things that keep coming up in my mind is selective perspective, selective outrage, selective injustice, selective justice. Everything comes down to selective, and it has the ability to move and twist and turn, and it's all selective. There's no real integrity or standard or like I want the Epstein files released. Why can't we stick to that? Why does all of a sudden the fact that we want the Epstein released to now we don't is because of what the great leader said? Or we don't want any new wars in Iran, so why all of a sudden now is war in Iran okay, based upon what the great leader said? And how can you have somebody like Thomas Massie who's elected, or Marjorie Taylor Greene who's elected, or these people that stand their ground and say, wait a second, this is what you campaigned on, this is what I campaigned on for you. We were two peas in a pod, and now you are not longer with me, so I'm going to have integrity, I'm going to stand my ground. But now all of a sudden we want to vote these people out, and these people are scourges because of what the great leader said. Or, I mean, it just keeps... What is it, guys? What is it? Help me have sympathy on people and quell some of my frustration, because I don't get it.
I go back to our audience, right? Our audience is, looking at the diversity within our audience in particular. There is a lot of different types on there, and there's those 100% Trump does nothing wrong. And there's some of those that he does everything wrong. And then there's some that, 20% of the time, I agree with some of these things he's doing, but quietly. And there's on the other side the same thing. But you got that big swath of people that frankly see things like us. Like, I voted for Trump. I'm okay with about 65% of the things he's pushing across right now. I'm way against the war. I'm way against the Epstein style, the way he handled that with the media, and the way he had those YouTubers come out with those files to make it all glitz and glam for the majority of America to say, oh, thank God I'm going to go back to work because they're doing something about it. Except with media today, doesn't work like that. People don't have to just let that be without saying what are the results, what's coming out. And it was really telling when Elon Musk put up that website where we were going to go and start eating in to the national debt and saving money.
Doge.
Where is
forgot
that?
about that.
Where is it?
That's come and gone. Remember.
But why?
Yeah. Well, Elon Musk was in best friends with Trump,
face?
and then he was not, and then he was, and then he was not.
He's not. He's transactional. Let's be real.
Right.
He's a trillionaire. He's the richest man in the world, and he has goals. And I believe, and there's people going to get mad at me for this, he's building his businesses and doing what he's doing, but he has such an angst for trying to help humanity long term with his little bit of short life that he has. Do you remember his face when they were walking him out of the administration? You should go back and look at that. There was direct tension, deep tension. Whatever happened in the machine that changed at that time is what we're seeing right now. I don't know what they have on who. I don't know who they're threatening their lives of, that they just can't deal with it, and they're saying, screw it, leave my family alone, we'll do what you want. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on behind the meetings. I know there's some strategery happening. But the fact that the one ticker that I personally know could fix a lot of other stuff in our country was just all of a sudden gone. When it was a scoreboard for success.
And now going against everything that person ever wanted or believed.
Do you know what that ticker would be doing right now with being at war again?
Losing his mind.
We just totally are going the opposite direction. Again.
Charlie Kirk loved Thomas Massie. Loved him.
But he didn't understand that the third rail and the fifth rail chest was not connected to the eye of the needle.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yes.
You know, I mean, this is what we're getting, right? And I have friends that are that way, and I love them. I get it. But here's an example, man. I'm in San Antonio here recently, and I'm driving with the person, one of the people I love the most in this world, and me and her are getting after it. And she starts bringing up politics, and my cousin already knows that me and her shouldn't talk politics. It's her mom, and I love her to death, but we just can't talk politics because she is so one-sided. And I am very much on the other side. And I'm like, hey, did you know this? Where did you get that information? And she kept talking. She didn't want to hear any questions. She was right. I was not seeing it, but I could tell where her algorithms were just by how she was talking. This is the piece that I think majority of Americans don't understand on both sides of the aisle. We are being manipulated at a rate that people can't even comprehend. And I say this almost every time we're on this podcast, because I want it to eventually stick. That your window of your view of what you're seeing is what you're putting in front of you. And because I know how the back end of that stuff works, and I've been in that industry for 18 years now, and helped create some of these platforms that people use on the back end and understand how it ties in and understand what triggers it. It's actually very scary, and it would freak people out if they really just took a day of their life to understand what's running 99% of it. But let's not invest that time, because I don't want to be scared and I don't want to be aware. I just want to live with what I want to believe being shown to me at every turn, 90% of my day. Self-inflicted, just saying.
Self-inflicted identity crisis?
So when you dump $15 million into a campaign in another state, coming from other countries, PACs, groups that have an agenda, no pass go, that's how it works. It was the record of money that had been thrown in that election. What do you think that money went in to do? Where'd it go?
Oh, well, it's definitely all propaganda, negative or positive, however you look at it, but propaganda through marketing and messaging.
And where's the majority of that media spend given?
I would say, I mean, if I'm just off probably through television advertising.
So if you drove into a certain area within where that was going on in the voting hotspots, and very directly heat maps of where the voters are, what do you think you would have been seeing on your phone and just on the TVs,
constant bombardment of
and messaging on the bar TVs, and on your scrolling, and on your Amazon list, and on your YouTube commercials in between, and on your Twitter feeds, little ads on the side?
Yeah, you probably got 150 messages of Massie's bad,
and if you drove
Massie's good,
you drove 1 hour outside of that radius, it's back to what you want to see, but with a little bit of that twist to it.
Right. And the farther you get
people
away.
have no idea this is happening. So we're at a car wash convention, and I'm watching people around me, and they have no clue how they're being messaged to. Oh my gosh, that's so-and-so's company. They're everywhere. You were just in front of them, and your phones were close to each other, and they paid to make sure you were having ads dumped on your phone. Peacocking's going on everywhere. It's just very much more targeted now.
Well, and see, okay, and Andy, it's interesting that you say that, right? Because I watch the numbers, and we are progressively, like, we would obviously just give up if we weren't seeing any movement any which way or anything else. Because
your numbers are better than a lot of the big medias that are in Wichita.
I've noticed this. Okay, so I try to really just be very because I want not because I want to make $1 million at this. I just want to make $174,000 a year. Where I don't have to pay for Medicare or medicine or anything like that, you know, and everything. Okay, but not all reality, you know, is we want to know we're making an impact, especially for the time and investment and everything. And it's interesting because the more that I get into it, I realize that much of these different platforms that we have want you to pay. They want you to pay to play. If I was to go and drop $30,000 into my YouTube channel, I would probably be generating quite a bit of money in in advertising dollars and all these things. But I'm not going to do that, right? I mean,
You get about 26 back.
Right.
So you could spend another 20.
Yes. And so people don't even realize that much of what they're seeing is paid to play.
Right? Exactly what it is.
And then the algorithms will reward ignorance. If I wanted to come in here as Chocolate Man and I wanted to cover myself in hot fudge chocolate, okay,
I would pay for that.
And then go blah, 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 blah. I mean, I might get 10,000 shares.
I can't do that.
Chad, come
image.
on, Chad. Damn.
I cannot do that.
I was trying to actually set up for Chad to do it for us, but I mean, you know, yeah, but people, you know,
imagine him in a chocolate fountain.
I can't do it.
Standing in the middle of a kiddie pool in a chocolate fountain.
Yes.
No.
Yes, throwing marshmallows at me. Chad could just be in a Speedo throwing marshmallows at me. We would get lots of views that way. But algorithms do this.
Ain't nobody but my wife ever going to see me in a Speedo. Just
Did I strike a nerve? Speedo and throwing marshmallows at a chocolate
I bet you don't shave your back.
Look at my face.
It's
Do I look like I shaved my back?
Pool party time.
Would you do it for the show?
You can catch us this summer having a HCTalk pool party. You just watch us. We'll just
chocolate
swim in
and
the pool.
marshmallows, baby.
I mean, but Chad, you didn't have an opportunity to answer. What is it? The selective outrage, the selective perspective. It's why? Why?
I wish I knew. It would make my job a lot easier. I don't think there's just any one sort of magic bullet answer to it. And if there were, it would make my job a lot easier. But my job is hard.
Okay, so let me. Okay, so then I got a question because I'm trying to think on my feet here. Okay, you know, is it simpler than what I'm trying to make it? Right? You know, when you had mentioned if you had a silver bullet to it, I was just thinking about what Andy was saying, which is it an acceptance thing for me? Is it this is just the way it is, and therefore then I have to accept that? But my problem with acceptance is oftentimes my psychology says acceptance is quitting, right? Acceptance is concession. Well, I accept it because there's nothing I can do about it, so I might as well just move on. And to me, what's going on in our country, what's going on in our state, what's going on in our county, what's going on in our community, to me is next to my family and my health, the most important thing. And getting people to communicate and wake up. So if I just have to say, well, the reason Thomas Massie lost wasn't because Trump is the greatest endorser of all times. It's because it was $16 million spent against him in a campaign.
I think it's the $16 million.
So I have to accept that money wins elections?
No, you gotta. Yes.
Well, it helps, but is this the case? I mean, my study of political science, when I was, I did this specifically. Okay, my studies showed me that probably around 90 to 93. It's real specific, but 90 to 93% of the time, he who spends the most in an election wins.
Well, okay, I'm going to ask a question.
It helps.
I'm going to ask a question. we have a gubernatorial election coming up in Kansas. And we haven't even got to the primaries yet, but we have one candidate who has very expressly tied himself to Trump. Do you know who it is?
Jeff Collier.
How do you know that?
Because I'm seeing messaging that he's paying for that's coming out that's showing that he is a Trump guy and that Trump endorsed him when he ran for governor's race earlier on before he had to bow out based upon his medical situation.
So you're seeing the messaging
Already.
And he's paying for that.
So I guess
somebody's paying for that.
I guess my personal experience would be I ran for a seat on the school board for the second time, and I lost by I don't know how many hundreds of votes. I don't remember now because I didn't run. I put out signs that I had. I funded my own advertising to the point of almost no spending with what I have around me. I've had friends that thought about helping me and were asking to give me money, and I said no. But I promise you, even with the resources I have around me, $1,500 would have went a long way. $3,000 I would have won first place with a crazy amount of votes. But I would have spent that to make sure that people checked my box. And because I didn't spend that, I didn't win. And I'm grateful now because my life is back on where my little world that I like to be in, right? And more energy for us. But at the end of the day, that spend, literally I spent $0 other than what I had access to, which is hardware and stuff that I already own, right? Zero energy pretty much, and I knocked 0 doors and I lost, but I didn't spend the money.
Well, and I would say that's
and
pretty
that's
synonymous.
sad when you know if you spend money, you win.
I think,
and to add to that, I've been in the room. A meeting, it's been a number of years, but a meeting did happen. 3 incumbents of the Board of Education who were planning to run again. And if I remember right, about 4 hopefuls who had filed for the election. They were all in the room at the same time, and they were all talking about whether or not they thought it was worth it to spend money for a volunteer position. I heard that conversation from start to finish. That's freaking collusion. All right? That's what that is.
well, I think it might be testing the water.
But that conversation was all about, are we all going to spend money or not? And if we're going to spend it, we're going to spend it. And if we're not, let's just agree that we're not. Well, money got spent in that election, primarily by the hopefuls, because they were concerned that they couldn't challenge the incumbents without it.
Well, and I wonder if there's something that would be interesting to do, and we are getting to the end of the program and stuff to be able to give our last words away. But I wonder if there could be a tangible money amount placed on what an incumbency is worth. Right? If you're an incumbent,
half the votes that I got were just because I've been there. And then there's some people, of course, the decisions that I was a part of making that were going to do everything they could to make sure I didn't get there. But that's 70 votes, 120 votes. The rest of it is name recognition. I mean, it's...
Which you spend money to get, unless you're an incumbent.
which goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning.
So, yeah.
Yep, went full circle. Okay. Final words, gentlemen. What do you got? Andy? Chad?
My final word is going to be a little bit different today than it is in the past. And I had cooked up a final word before I got here, but I threw it out. I watched the county commission meeting yesterday, and I wrote a story, and I had my story done by noon. And I had my story done before Matthew Schmidt of Health Ministries came in to help me confirm a number or two and just kind of discuss a little bit about what was going on at that meeting. But we have a commissioner who is going to force a 2-to-1 vote, one way or the other, as to whether our county is going to continue to fund $10,000 of assistance and aid for health ministries. That's $10,000 out of that multi-million-dollar budget, tens of millions of dollars budget. I'm not going to wax political. I am just going to absolutely encourage you to read that story, especially the word-for-word quote of her announcement of said not wanting to vote for the $10,000. Make a decision on your own as to whether or not you support health ministries.
Oh, for sure.
Make a decision on your own if you think it's worth it for the Harvey County Commission and the City of Newton to each invest $10,000 in that venture. I'm going to leave it right there. Please make your decisions. Please read it, because this is one of those spots where local politics is going to really hit home. And the decisions that are going to get made in this budget season for all of those budgets, they are going to hit home, and they're going to hit home hard. Make your own decision. And I'm going to say it once again, but the transcription of the quotations, they are word for word, and they have been double, triple, quadruple checked to make sure that they are word for word.
Look forward to reading that. Just glad to be back, guys. Good to see you guys again. Had a little trip down to Dreamland, but back home, and looking forward to serving this community and continuing these conversations and getting better at what we do. And I'm looking forward to reading that story and checking out what that quote is and just really dissecting where that mindset is coming from. So you got me curious now. Health Ministries is a really great resource we have here for a lot of reasons. So they've, and frankly, they are hiring local contractors to help with their expansion and building to serve people that normally couldn't get health services if they weren't around. And it's a lot of people. So
my final word, I'm just going to come full circle back to it. I don't know if it's selective outrage. I don't know if it's selective perspective. I'm still trying to navigate to understand better what exactly it is that's at the crook of the problem. And I see it as a problem because I'm somebody that really believes that the only way that I can get better in my own beliefs is to challenge myself and challenge my beliefs. And that usually comes in the form of somebody else. And there are many times where I'll have conversations with people that just I don't really agree with, but I strive so hard to see it from their perspective and say, even though I don't agree with what you believe or how you see things or whatever that is, ultimately it comes down to me understanding how they identify, right? How they view themselves, how they view their beliefs, why they have their beliefs. And then it's okay to say, I don't agree with that. I don't even have to tell them I don't agree with it. I just need to focus in on, especially in our communities and people that are right next to us, realizing that they are a human being. They have deeply held beliefs just as I do. And that's okay that we can agree to disagree. It doesn't affect my life in as much as most people seem to think that it does if somebody chooses to live some way different than you. And that you might consider that loaded, but it is what it is. I said it. I stand by it. Have a good week, everybody.